Stephen, first of all, can you, I guess, give us a squad update? We know that Ollie obviously pulled out last night and Lawrence as well. Callum's in. Is there any plans to bring anyone else in?
No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. Obviously disappointed that the lads have had to pull out with their respective injuries, but also presents an opportunity to bring Callum in. So yeah, hopefully he obviously takes that opportunity. Delighted that he's here and joined us. So yeah, looking forward to the games ahead, and hopefully no more little niggles and we stay pretty injury free.
What was the issue with Ollie? Because he was obviously here training with Sheffield United last week.
Yeah, he's got an issue with his foot, I believe, which obviously not quite healed enough to obviously meet up. Obviously they'll be going into their season pretty soon as well. So obviously from a club point of view and Ollie, it's important that they get that injury right. Unfortunate that he did have to miss out on this one. He's obviously got a big place to play for us, and but then again, it's an opportunity for Callum to come in and show what he can do.
And obviously London as well in his first squad.
Yeah, delighted that he's in. He's a player that's been closely been monitored for a long period of time. Delighted that he's obviously made the decision and is with us. He's a confident character, trained with us this morning, and good to have him involved. It's obviously been a whirlwind few weeks for him with the speculation with a potential move and the move happening, a big move to London, which I'm sure will go well, but hopefully see a lot more of what we saw this morning in training.
With the two guys having pulled out yesterday and him being named in the squad, would there be any original squad, would there be any qualms about throwing him straight in?
No, I think everyone that's ever named in a squad, that's how I saw it as a player and now on the coaching staff. If you're in the squad, you prepare yourself to play, and everyone that is in the squad has got a chance of playing. So no, I think he'll be ready. He's got up to speed, he's looking sharp. The reports that we're getting from his opening few days at QPR are good ones, so I think he's going to be in the right frame of mind if called upon to hopefully continue the outstanding form that he's shown for a long period of time.
Do the withdrawals do you guys have to then change your mindset in terms of what systems you may be able to use, because it is two forward thinking players that not only you can't start with but you can't use off the bench either? Is that something that the manager and yourselves have had to work around in terms of what systems to maybe use?
Not really. A lot of it's going to be as well, you've got the issue with certain players at different levels of fitness going into this game. Obviously the players based in Scotland are up to speed pretty much with the amount of games that have been played. Obviously different players are at different levels of fitness, so we've got to also monitor that closely with the medical and sports science to see where they're at, whether they're physically ready to go for 290 minutes. So that's going to be a decision and a thought process going into these two games, but a lot's also going to be on what we see on the training field. How players are training, how they feel, how they're looking, and from that we'll obviously then decide and pick upon hopefully the right two teams in these two games to go and get two positive results.
I think we would be forgiven for thinking that the next game against Israel is slightly more important than this one.
Yeah.
You would accept that surely, but in terms of what do you do in this game, do you go with the next game in mind and think, right, how can we shape up against Israel, or do you maybe not want to show your full hand to Israel just in case you want to?
That's the whole. We're going in it to win the game. It's a question I've been asked since obviously the Nations League draw is, do you play a different 11 completely to the one that you may be thinking going ahead? But we're going into. We know what the Nations League on its own merit means. Obviously we're in this situation with the playoff game due to the Nations League, so going to treat the two games with utmost seriousness and hopefully go out and get two positive results. And after Friday it's going to be looking ahead to the Czech game, and then after the Czech then we can focus fully on the Israel game. Sometimes a boring answer that people don't want to hear, but that's the truth. Been working on obviously Israel for a long period of time now. After the November camp it was looking ahead to the March playoff game, so a lot of work was done then, but a lot of work's also been done on the Czech game coming up. So as soon as those two games are done, then it will be obviously fully focused on the next camp and the playoff game and the two further Nations League games.
You mentioned the confidence of Lyndon Dykes. Is that the sort of character the squad needs at this point in time?
I think it's a confident squad. Anyone that knows the players, sees how the players train. You look at the session this morning, the quality, the confidence, and also you got players winning silverware on a regular basis now as well. And I think that brings a confidence and from my own personal point of view, when I was playing in the Republic sides, if you got players that are winning league titles, it does drives the whole group in itself. So yeah, that's what Lyndon's been showing for a long period of time now, that confidence when he's coming up against the big teams in the league. Almost not a lack of respect, but he goes out there and puts himself about, big physical presence, but alongside that physical presence is a good quality with the ball as well.
Have you addressed the Tierney-Robertson dilemma yet?
Do you know what? It's great to have Kieran. I've not worked with Kieran yet. This is the first squad that I've been involved with Kieran. It's good to obviously see that hopefully the injury issues that he had at the start of the move to Arsenal are behind him. He's broken into the team, getting a lot of good, obviously, plaudits from around the country. So good to have them both in. And it's a good dilemma to have, good problem to have. We don't see it as a problem. We see it as having some good quality players in the squad.
Is it a case that both will play, but it's just a matter of where they'll play?
Has to be decided, that one. I'm going to sit on the fence and obviously not probably give you the answer you want to hear, but yeah, it's great that they're both in. Again, it's a pleasure to be alongside Kieran in this squad, because I've not been involved with him as yet. Seeing the training session this morning, the mentality already, and the little training games, the little boxes, little possessions, he wants to win. That's the mindset and the mentality that you want in any squad.
Is it fair to say though he offers a bit of tactical flexibility now, should you choose to use it?
Yeah, he's obviously played left side centre back in recent times with Arsenal, played left wing back, obviously had certain games at right back at times in his career. So obviously it is a benefit, that versatility, and ultimately it's picking the best team for the game, and that's an honest answer. So we'll look at and assess it this week, but it's not even a problem to have. It's great to have obviously that calibre of player back in the squad, getting back up to where he was prior to the injury issues that he did have, and hopefully we can look ahead and hopefully he can stay from a personal point of view injury free.
With the two guys pulling out, in terms of the striking area, do you feel that you're maybe a wee bit bare in terms of maybe depth in this current squad that you've got?
Not really. I think we've got good options, good attacking options. Got players that can play in midfield but also play a little bit higher if need be. So I still think we're equipped with what we got. And again, sometimes with players getting injured, I've said it before a couple of times when I've done my bits and pieces with them, it's an opportunity for someone else. Sometimes happens that way. Sometimes happens that an injury occurs and you get your chance. More often than not, that's the case. For young players breaking in, or for players getting injured and someone fills in, sometimes it is that opportunity. Someone drops out, someone comes in and takes their opportunity, and then gives you not a problem. It gives good options going forward.
I suppose you look at guys like John McGinn, Ryan Christie, James Forrest. There is guys in midfield and in the wide areas that can provide goals as well.
Yeah, absolutely. John McGinn's been in free scoring form for us from those midfield positions, and we've got good attacking options going forward, good creativity in the team. So yeah, I think the squad's fully equipped to deal with one or two injuries. Obviously it's disappointing that the two lads have pulled out, but Callum's in, and for us the squad is strong enough to go and compete in these two games.
Having been away from the role for so long, how have you kept your foot in terms of international football since November? It's
been tough. It has been tough. We was obviously, after November, it was fully focused on the playoff game. So I was coming up on a more regular basis, kind of games, and working with the analysts sort of behind the scenes, getting prepared, and then obviously the situation happened, and then it was obviously a difficult time for everyone. I was lucky enough that I was able to do a little bit of media work and go to a few of the games after the restart, which was good. for me personally, to get out and go back watching games. Hopefully that's the situation going forward, but it's been a long time. It has been a long time, but it comes back so quickly. It's been 10 months since the last camp pretty much, but pretty quickly when the lads come and meet up with the squad and you start getting to know the ones that you don't know so well. Good to see the staff again. The staff at the hotel have been superb in all the protocols and all of that, so it comes back quickly, and that buzz and excitement when you're back out on the grass.
How much are you going to miss the fans, Stephen?
Yeah, it's massive. It is going to be massive. That it's not ideal, obviously, with the support that we've got as well going into these games, but you know what, if you look back a few months and the situation we was in when it was at times looking doubtful that football's going to restart at all, I think we would have taken the situation. The lads are going to be used to it, whether the boys that have got the league campaigns up and running, obviously the English-based players that managed to restart was crucial. Obviously got that situation now with players at different levels of fitness, but I think the lads are just going to be delighted to get back out there at Hampden, whether there's fans or no fans. Again, not ideal, but we'll know that obviously the nation are going to be behind us all the way.
Are there any tips or any, I don't know if you can do it in training, but a way to address this different dynamic? Obviously the players have started, some of them, with the club games in front of no fans. Have you and Steve got any ideas about how you'll try and get that, probably the mentality or the intensity that you want?
Not really, to be honest. I think for the boys it's going to be continuing and what they're starting to, the new normality at the minute for them. You've obviously got the two boys playing in the Charity Shield at Wembley at the weekend in front of no fans, and it's different. That's all we can say. It is a different situation. I think the players are going to be used to it. It's going to be a little bit different for us from the coaching staff because we've not been in that situation where you're competing and you're in the dugout with no fans there. I think the players, and I've asked one or two of them, what's been the difference? How do you feel in those games? But I think the general feeling from them all is it is what it is. We're going to crack on. We're getting used to it, and hopefully with that we can. And it's the same. It's the same for everyone at the minute. All in the same boat with it. So in effect, it is just get on with it and hopefully go out and get 2 positive results.
And I was going to ask you about that. So a couple of times you said 2 positive results. What does that mean to you? 4 points out of 6?
6 would be better. Yeah, 6 would be good. Obviously, that's what we're going to aim for. And the focus is the importance of the 2 games as well. Being in the situation we are in with the playoff game, these become big games. So we're going out to ultimately get 2 wins. After a long period of time away from it, that's what the focus is. The players have come back in, and unfortunately that we have had a couple of injuries, but it's win these 2 games. If it's not win these 2 games, get 4 points and work from there, and then obviously focus on the next camp, and then it'll be the same again. Hopefully focus on 3 games, fingers crossed, in November.
Alex Dyer leaving the setup, are you expecting anyone else to come in and assist you along with Steve? Talk of John Carver.
John's come in. I know John not worked with him, but his relationship with the manager goes back a long time. I've met him on a few occasions when I was coaching alongside Steve at Reading. He used to come in and watch the sessions, and they've got a great relationship. Obviously it's a shame to lose Alex as well. Got a really good relationship with him, but you can understand the reasons for it with his priorities now with Kilmarnock. But yeah, it's great to have John in. He's obviously got a great coaching CV, worked at all levels of the game, and another coach, another experienced coach that I can learn from. And he's got a good personality and one that will challenge things as well. If he sees something, he's not one to just sit back and let it slide. He'll be getting involved in that, and obviously great to have him on board.
Steve, you as a young coach, how valuable is this for you? Because we understand that you were looking to try and go for a couple of jobs during the lockdown. I think it was Bolton. I think you were speaking to at some point. How valuable is this for you in terms of your coaching development to be involved in this setup?
Yeah, it's another great experience. It's different. my journey's been Championship, playoff final, one of the biggest games effectively in world football. Then had a great season with Crystal Palace in the Premier League with that elite level of player. And again, this is almost the pinnacle of football, representing your country, playing for your country, and coaching your country as well, and being involved in that and being involved with the squad has been another good experience. At times obviously it can be difficult with the breaks in between, especially usually the November to March break was a long one anyway, and it's turned out to be 10 months. But again, it's the buzz returning today. You realise obviously today how much you do miss it, just feeding off the energy of the players, of the staff, and getting back out there, and that's the thing you miss the most. But obviously delighted now we got 3 months of hopefully 8 games coming up to push on in the Nations League first, but also qualify for the tournament that's going to be next summer.